Hello there, my very good friends. On this wrestling news video, we're going to talk about Alberto Del Rio being back under WWE contract. We've got some purported benefits of AAA being bought by WWE. What's next for two of WWE's released wrestlers? And on top of that, Steve Austin gives his honest thoughts, sort of, on John Cena versus Cody Rhodes. I'm Andy, this is the news, and we're kicking this one off by talking about Alberto Del Rio, because it seems he is back under WWE contract for the first time in 10 years. So, unless you've been living under a rock, you will know that WWE bought AAA, which is the second biggest Lucha Libre promotion in Mexico, over WrestleMania week, or at least that's when they announced it, you don't know. And a few eagle-eyed WWE.com viewers noticed over the weekend that Del Rio had reappeared on WWE... Malfunction. WWE.com's alumni page for the first time in a long time. That happened over the weekend. Well, now we have a report from Ernesto Ocampo of Super Luchas, who has tweeted a bunch of AAA names. There's 8 of them in total that are reportedly under WWE contract now. And here we go. Let's just run through them. El Hijo de Dr. Wagner Jr., El Hijo del Vikingo. He obviously appeared at WrestleMania, so that's not a huge surprise. La Parca, La Hiedra, Lady Flammer, Lady Maravilla, Nino Hamburguesa, and Alberto Del Rio. Or, as he's known now, currently as the AAA Mega Champion, Alberto El Patron. He's used that name a lot when he's not been in WWE. So, let's kind of run through this, right? Del Rio, Alberto El Patron, whatever we're calling him, Dirty Bertie, I don't know. Come up with silly names. We do that all the time. He was let go by WWE in September 2015. It was reported that he was exercising an opt-out clause in his contract. And according to him, he was given some empty promises that weren't fulfilled regarding his push and stuff like that. Now, the guy obviously has a host of personal and legal issues. He's had a host of them over the years, and there's one particularly harrowing account, of course, from May 2020 that you can read up on. In particular, there's a lot of kind of scary stuff out there. We should note that there hasn't been anything on this from Mike Johnson or Dave Meltzer or Sean Ross Sapp, the big kind of names in wrestling media. None of them have reported on this at the time of recording. We're just kind of going off this report from Ernesto Ocampo. And Del Rio over the years has always been a guy who, when interviewed, has always said stuff like, yeah, I'm in talks, I might go back to WWE, blah, blah, blah. He's done that several times over the years, and it has always been shut down by... Sean Ross Sapp has done a lot of that reporting in particular. But yeah, if you're going by this list, he is on that list of 8 names contracted to WWE, according to Mr. Ocampo. So, let's break this down a little bit. Obviously, WWE's purchase of AAA opened the door for this. And yeah, there are certain wrestlers who are going to re-sign and show up, maybe potentially in WWE. We saw Rey Fenix, Rey Mysterio did a little video for AAA at the weekend, so presumably he's going to show up there at some stage. There's all kinds of other things, but Del Rio always stood out as a, what's going to happen there? Purely because of the things that have happened with him personally and legally and stuff over the years, and the acrimonious nature of his last WWE release. We know from history that WWE will basically forgive almost anything with time. It's just how it works. It's how they operate. Ultimate Warrior was the ultimate blacklist dude, and he came back into the company just briefly before he passed away. And there's countless other issues, other situations throughout history. Heck, a recent example would be Lex Luger getting his induction into the Hall of Fame, which was well deserved, and is a completely different situation, obviously, to an Alberto Del Rio. That was more silly nonsense why Lex was kind of blacklisted from Da Fed. There are plenty of other silly ones as well, like Demolition and their participation in the class action lawsuit leading to them getting blacklisted. But WWE my point is that for a variety of reasons, WWE often lets people back through the door. Now, Del Rio, he obviously was a very tenured WWE star. At one point, he was pushed and promoted as the next big Mexican star for the promotion, and he was going to fill that void and all that stuff. It didn't quite work out to the extent that WWE would like, but he was pushed very prominently. He's a world champion. League of Nations, that's a bad example. No one liked that, did they? I mean, I like the other people in the stable, but yeah, the stable didn't really play out as intended. He was very prominent, is what I'm trying to get at with this. So, yeah, a complex case for sure when it comes to Alberto Del Rio. Personally, if I'm the guy writing the checks and all that, not someone I would look to bring back, in all honesty. And this isn't necessarily a guarantee that he's going to show up in WWE, right? None of these people are guaranteed to show up. I mean, Nino Hamburguesa on WWE TV would be pretty fun. I'm not going to lie. But, you know, no guarantee that these people are going to be in the Fed, as we say. This might just be, hey, you have a WWE contract because you work for AAA. And we own that company now. So it might just be that. You might never ever see him on Raw or SmackDown ever again. But he is under contract, according to this report. I'm sure there will be more on this as we progress, because he's such a divisive name, shall we? Is that the right word? I don't know. He's been accused of some real scumbag behavior over the years. So we'll see what occurs. And if there are any follow-up reports on this, which I imagine there will be, we will cover those as well right here on the news. By the way, things go back to normal tomorrow. Me and Adam will be in the chairs. It's been great. It's been awesome. Looking forward to getting back into a normal routine. Shout out to Michael Sidgwick for filling in last week. He did a tremendous job, as always. Anyway, our second story of this video. What are we talking about? I totally forgot. Okay, some reported benefits for AAA wrestlers after the WWE sale. This is an article from El Imparcial. Whoa, phone almost went flying there. Who reported the WWE buying the company. They've got a new article out. Is expected to lead to more structured agreements, competitive salaries, health benefit access, labor benefits, and stuff that were previously unheard of in Mexican wrestling, which is something that it's been heavily criticized for being kind of informal, is the way they put it. Now, this write-up's quite interesting. There is a line that does give me pause here, right? Leading me to believe that maybe there's a lot of guesswork going on here. I'll read this to you and you can make up your own mind. In addition to the direct benefits for the wrestlers, AAA would also receive a significant financial boost for the production and logistics of their shows. This means that events like Triple Mania and Rey de Reyes will have a better staging, lighting, and streaming on global platforms like Peacock and Netflix. So the part of that gives me pause is that there's been no indication whatsoever that this WWE deal is going to result in AAA going on to Netflix or Peacock. That just seems a bit far-fetched at this stage. I mean, if I was to be a prick about it and joke, I would say, hey, if I'm Netflix, putting AAA's current product on that platform would probably cause people to unsubscribe, if anything. It's not a great wrestling show a lot of the time, unfortunately. Maybe that'll change. I don't know. But look, this isn't how broadcasting deals necessarily work, right? It's different countries and international deals, and AAA has a deal with Max, I believe. But look, just look at AEW as an example here. AEW being on TBS and TNT has not resulted in Ring of Honor going on those platforms. So why all of a sudden would AAA be on those platforms? I don't know. Maybe they have signed a deal that we haven't been privy to. But I don't know. That part doesn't exactly seem kosher to me. I'm sure there will be benefits for the wrestlers when it comes to this deal. Look, some people from AAA are going to make it into WWE. A handful of people might come across. Like King O is probably a very notable example of that. He's already appeared. So it'll be great for guys like him. There are wider concerns with this regarding the broader wrestling industry that we have talked about before, and we will talk about again, but perhaps this video here isn't the space for that. Don't want to make it too drawn out or anything like that, but there you go. Some purported benefits of AAA wrestlers after the WWE sale. That Netflix and Peacock line, I would keep that one at arm's length. Maybe I'll be proved wrong. Currently, I don't think so. Anyway, let's move on to our next story here. We've got an update on two of WWE's recently released wrestlers. Both NXT, although Shotzi was kind of main roster as well for a while, but NXT recently. Her and Danny Palmer, we've got an update here from Fightful Select, who have spoken to people close to the situation who don't believe that Danny Palmer will continue wrestling. She had no background in the sport when she was recruited. I believe she was working as a fitness instructor when she came into WWE, and she has spoken already about her athletic career coming to an end following her release. Yeah, I think she did a big Instagram post about this on her stories, which is certainly, not as wild as the last notable long Instagram story she posted. You can Google that one. People have opinions, don't they? But Shotzi, regarding her, she apparently the writing was on the wall. Or she pretty well saw the writing on the wall when it comes to her being let go. She said that she's fired up for her future. She's optimistic about what comes next. She also tweeted saying, "Hey, I'm looking forward to wrestling for longer than 3 minutes in the future," which is kind of fun. Fightful actually spoke to MLW, who are the number 4 promotion in the US? WWE, AEW, TNA, MLW, that adds up. They're likely interested in a few of the people who've been released. Now, the NXT talent in general have a 30-day non-compete. Some on the main roster have 90. Shotzi's deal, she's a bit different because her contract is expiring and they're not renewing it. It's not one that they've just, straight up released her. Her deal expires sometime in the spring or summer. It's before 90 days, Fightful right here. So as soon as that deal expires, Shotzi will be able to work wherever the heck she wants because it's a contract expiry. It's not a release. They're not cutting her ahead of time or anything like that. So she's going to be able to jump right back into the fire whenever the heck that is. So I don't think either of these cases are particularly surprising. Danny Palmer, she didn't come from wrestling. Maybe she just doesn't want to do it anymore, whatever the reasons for that are. Fair play. She wasn't a wrestler coming into the company, so it stands to reason that, hey, once her employment with WWE ends, she might be like, okay, that's it, I'm done. That's enough. And Shotzi, she was a wrestler for years before signing with WWE. Long-ass time as Shotzi Blackheart on the indies. She's only 33 years old. She's still got a long-ass career ahead of her. Of course she wants to continue. Of course she wants to find other places to perform pro wrestling. What a weird sentence, Andy. You should have scrapped that one. Either way, Shotzi, I've always found her to be a very exuberant, energetic, and fun wrestler. I'm looking forward to seeing what kind of chaos she concocts next. I just wonder what's going to happen to the tank, man. Where's that tank going to go? They're going to give it to Rusev? Is he going to use it as a skateboard or something like that? It's really small. I don't know. What happened to the tank? Let us know in the comment section below what you think happened to the tank when Shotzi was told she was being let go from the Fed. Anyway, story number 4. What's with the long pauses? What am I doing? Anyway, here's another one. Story number 4. Steve Austin has talked about Cody Rhodes versus John Cena. He didn't watch it. He didn't watch the match. He was at WrestleMania and he didn't watch the Bloody Night 2 main event. Why is this? Because traffic was bad and he wanted to get home. This is according to Stone Cold himself on the Ariel Helwani show. He was asked if he watched it or what he thought of the main event of WrestleMania. Steve said, "I didn't see it." He then was asked about it and he said, "Nope." He was asked if there was a reason. He said, "No, I just wanted to beat the crowd. I haven't watched it back." This man rules. This man rules. So basically, Steve Austin turned up to drive his ATV to the ring, go the wrong way, reverse, get pulled out. Come on, Steve, you got it the wrong way. Drive into the ring, crash into the barricade, knock a woman over in the crowd. Nick Khan has to come out. He does this promo where he was like, what? He's counting the people in the crowd. He announces the attendance. Then he just went home. Legend of the game. Night 1, he was obviously there as well as part of the Hall of Fame lineup. They didn't do the entrance or anything like that for him and Brett. It was just here they are. because they had to save the entrance for Triple H, because Triple H likes to pretend he's a bigger star than Steve Austin. He's also the headliner. I'm just joking. Calm down. It's not that serious. Night 2, he did get the big entrance, which is good, because I'd never seen that before live, and I got to see it live this time, and it was a lot of fun. And yeah, well, the glass shatters, you pop. It's a law. You have to do it. If you don't do it, what's going on? What's going on? What are you up to? What are you doing in your life? It's not right. Would I have used Steve Austin for a little bit more than that at WrestleMania? Yeah, probably, I would have. But it sounds like he just wanted to go home, beat the traffic, all that stuff. Maybe he was staying at a hotel that was far, far away. Las Vegas, not the easiest city in the world to get around. I mean, it was quite easy for us. I was staying in the Luxor. You just go over a bridge and you're in the stadium. But if you're staying anywhere else, it takes like 20 minutes to cross the road in that city. I love the place. But it's tough when you're a pedestrian getting around. And presumably Steve Austin didn't walk home. Presumably he got hit Uber and maneuvered out the area or something like that. But hey, who knows? Either way, I'm sure Cody and Cena would have loved it if Big Steve had stuck around and watched the match, but he couldn't be asked. He wanted to beat the traffic. There you go. What more do you want? Anyway, that's enough of this nonsense. If you like this video, here's the morning news video with a bunch of new context on the WWE releases, some new details that have come to light, and all of that stuff. Hopefully, we won't have any more flipping releases to report on throughout the week, but you never know with wrestling. I've been Andy. I'll see you tomorrow. Yes, bye.